Hi, and welcome to another episode of Church of Aliens. Um, I'm sure by now most people who are into UFOs, UAPs, and even good movies, they've seen the movie Nope. It was released a few weeks ago, and I was really excited to see it, to be honest. I really loved Get Out and Us as well. I think he's a really good director, and he tells really meaningful stories. Visually, I really like it as well. A lot of his movies. So, I was really excited to see this movie. When I went to see it, to be honest, I'd give this movie probably a 3 out of 5. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, which in some ways it's good. And how would I go about this? So, the movie is a lot like Jaws, in my opinion. It's more of like a monster hunter type of a story. Not exactly UFOs in that sense. But what I did like about this was that it was quite different than what I thought. I thought it would be a typical UFO with some sort of an alien creature, some sort of entity, and something along those lines. But what I did like, I think, was something that uh, wasn't explicitly explained, but what visually you understand it as, is that this thing that is from not of planet Earth is, in a sense, from planet Earth, but it's just part of nature. And I did see that how they portrayed the UFO and the alien as really the ship is alive. It's like, in a sense, another animal of Earth. So that was one of the parts that I really have enjoyed. But it's also something that I didn't like how they portrayed. So how I saw the movie and how I interpret it was these this UFO is in a sense camouflaged and kills people if you look at it if you look at it with your eyes and you face it, it will eat you and then spit you out. I mean, that part was just a bit garbage to me, to be honest. I didn't really like it because it just turns the UFO into a Jaws, to this scary shark, and it wasn't that interesting because then, um, I mean, not to spoil the movie, but towards the end, they're able to, in a sense, outsmart and hunt this UFO and then destroy it. But just some things in this story just didn't make sense to me. I didn't like them because, in a sense, this is a creature. If you say, if it's part of nature, it's a creature that is so smart and so advanced that like someone can just destroy it by tricking it. Um, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense based on what I know about UFOs and UAPs and those sorts of things. Um, I mean, in the movie, in the end, it gets destroyed by eating up a decoy, like this giant balloon, and then it explodes, which is just, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, there was parts of it that I really liked. I really liked the visual spookiness. I think the night scenes were really well done. I was even hoping there was some parts of it where like these little alien beings were popping up, and everybody in the theater was getting spooked and screaming. I thought that was going to be more on the lines, but that was just turned out to be little kids playing a prank on the character. Uh, the movie was quite funny as well. Um, really great performance by Kiki Palmer. She was really great. She was really funny. Um, I think a bit of the side story, which was with the chimp that killed uh, some people on the set, with I think the character, the actor Stephen Young. That was interesting because it kind of portrayed this thing of we think we have this creature under control, and we want it to do these certain things and play in this movie, and then for whatever reason it just snaps. In a sense, in the movies, because it saw a reflection of itself, and then it started killing and being this aggressive animal that it really is. So in a sense, I think they try to portray that the same with this UFO. That if you look at it, it will hunt you down. Um, so that's why the main character was able to sort of understand that, since he's been with horses and he knows that so a lot of animals don't like that, and they feel threatened. So he was able to then, in the end, outsmart the UFO. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best movie. I think it's a fun, spooky movie to see with your friends, but I mean, it wasn't even that scary, to be honest. Um, yeah, I just liked how they were portraying the UFO as part of nature. I've heard that in many interviews with um, Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge, Peter Lavender as well, Jim Savivan, especially in his interview with Artists and Aliens. He just says, blatantly, this is part of nature. We need to deal with it. We can't keep hiding it. And I think that's like a huge problem right now with just how everybody thinks about these UAPs and paranormal. It's just not part of our world. And once you know that it is, and you have to interact with it somehow, it changes a lot of how you connect to it. In the same way that if you see a movie like Jaws and you see this out of world animal, which it is in a sense, but that it's like how it's portrayed in these movies. You don't really see it part of nature. You see something demonic, even like it's intentionally hunting everybody to kill you. And I think, in a sense, this is how this movie is trying to portray UFOs, which I didn't really like, because it's kind of going into that lane of now let's hunt UFOs. It scares people into doing these types of things, which I don't think you could even do that. But I think the main takeaway from this movie that I really liked was how they portrayed this as part of nature, how it was even camouflaging like an octopus would in the clouds, and um, and the way you interacted with it was like an animal in a sense. That it was alive and living. But I think that they sort of portrayed it as a dumb animal in a sense. It could be tricked, and you could even destroy it with, if it swallows a balloon, it can just blow up. So, kind of like Jaws, they blow it up and just all bits and guts everywhere. It was kind of like that in the end, which I didn't really like, to be honest. But I think it was a cool movie. They even mention things like A-Tip and the videos that have been released by To the Stars. It was pretty interesting to see that in culture just completely shifting. I don't know. I remember seeing those videos when they first released, and I would never think they'd be mentioned in a movie a few years later. So, yeah, I thought it was overall a pretty good movie, but I just didn't like how they portrayed the UFO in that sense, like some sort of dumb animal that you could manipulate and destroy that easily. From what I've read and who I've listened to, it doesn't sound anything like that. But I'd recommend you guys to see it. It's kind of a cool movie. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review and revealing some hidden things that I thought were put in the movie. And I'll see you next time.